Hello! And welcome
to Sort of the Story.
I'm Janey.
I'm Max.
And this is the podcast where we do a little dance. Woo! And up! Max, up!
Woo!
Oh yeah, she's gone. Taken away by the wind. Too soon. This is the weirdest intro ever. Anyway, bye!
Janey, I swear to God, every single time we do, like, a cut between takes, like, between stories, Janey's like, okay, bye. I'm like, they're gonna leave. Someday they're just gonna leave.
They've listened to the podcast. They know it. I never take those out because I think it's funny.
I think it's terrible.
This is the podcast where we tell each other some silly little stories.
Before we get started, if you like this episode, if you like our podcast, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Goodreads, and Twitter. All of them are under @sortofthestory, all one word, no spaces. Mm-hmm. You can also check out all of our merch on tpublic.com/user/sortofthestory. We have a bunch of like t-shirts and stickers and shit that have the things we say on them. Mm-hmm. Also, this podcast is not for children. We're going to say swears and there's going to be some violent stuff, so listener discretion is advised.
Yeah. And if you want to start your own podcast, because this sounds so much fun, go to the link in our show notes and try out Buzzsprout. And when you click the link, you get a $20 gift card to Amazon.
For signing up as a podcast on Buzzsprout. They have a lot of really great analytics and things like that. They help you to promote your podcast. They have been super helpful for us, especially as we were getting started with helping us to cross platforms and things like that, and helping us with finding out like what kind of hardware that we needed to use, which we have really simple bare bones hardware that you can get on Amazon for like $50 total. So if you click that link, sign up for Buzzsprout, get that $20 Amazon gift card, then you can be most of the way towards paying for the equipment that you need to start a podcast.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in starting a podcast, check out the link. Buzzsprout's been a really great platform for us and we absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And that's that.
That's that. Do you want to did you have something else?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
That was all business. Do we have any other intro stuff?
All business. To be honest, I think we should just get started.
Fair enough.
No? I mean, we're going to go on tangents throughout.
That's true.
We did get some really nice emails this week. So, guys, I love reading your emails and your Instagram messages. They're really sweet.
If you want to email us, it's sortofthestory@gmail.com.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time we get a message from you guys, our hearts grow 3 sizes, and we're about to go into coronary collapse. So.
Yeah, can you please, somebody send
us
us something
suffering.
Mean.
Send us more emails.
Send feet pics. Okay, and with
pics.
that, Max wants feet pics.
No.
Let's get started.
Let's get started.
Woo!
Janey's first this week.
I'm first. Oh, get ready.
Okay,
so Max.
Jennifer.
I have not been... Nobody's been feeling good this week. Guys, we're 2 weeks... We're in the time machine right now. We're 2 weeks in the past from when this comes out, and this is the week that Roe v. Wade was overturned. And everybody feels genuinely like their feet were ripped out from under them, and we're all just kind of floating in an angry little bubble. So I postponed the podcast 2 days in a row. And then I told Max today, as you will remember, I want to tell you a stupid story. I'm going to find the stupidest story I can find.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, did I find it immediately.
I'm so excited.
Flipped open the Brothers Grimm to the stupidest story.
Oh my God, I love it.
I'm so excited to tell you this.
I need a fucking break from reading the news. So I'm very glad that you found something. I found something pretty dumb too. So this is going to be a nice little... Hey.
This is sort of the stupid stories.
Ignoring what's going on is not a solution, but it is a temporary balm for when you feel like your head is going to explode. So, and why?
All right, so Max, this is from the Brothers Grimm, which is, honestly, I haven't gone wrong yet with the Brothers Grimm.
Mm-hmm. We love them. They're like this really small, like, indie group.
Oh my God.
You guys may not have heard of them, but they're, they're doing some really good work, and I think that they're, they obviously have some problems, but we really love what they're doing and, like, their progress
Max,
getting into this industry.
I don't mean to, like, shut you down, but I really don't want other people getting to know them, because then they'll mainstream the Brothers Grimm, and I just kind of don't, I'd rather keep it a little underground.
Yeah, so guys, don't tell your friends, but very secretly, check out the Brothers Grimm. That's GRIMM, and it's, just keep it secret, because this is a really well-kept secret in the folklore game, but they got some pretty good stuff.
We're gonna gatekeep, gaslight, and girl boss real quick. The Brothers Grimm. Okay, so this is called what?
Gaslight, gatekeep, Grimm.
Okay, this is called The Story of the Youth Who Went Forth to Learn What Fear Was. Right off the bat, That title is too long.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of this, let's go ahead and retitle it.
I almost did a story this week from my book, which is called The Young Man Who Would Have His Eyes Opened.
I wonder if it's the same story.
I also wonder if that's why I looked at your notes before we started, is because I was like, I
bet it's the same one, but let's do this.
Yeah.
I put the title, The Story of the Youth Who Went Forth to Learn What Fear Was, parentheses, Brothers Grimm, and then in the subheading, Good God. I'm ready. A father had 2 sons. The oldest was smart, hot, athletic. He was a real Chris Hemsworth. The youngest was stupid like a rock.
A Liam Hemsworth.
He's a real Liam.
He really... Look, guys. No forgiveness for Liam.
No forgiveness for Liam.
Not after what he did to Miley.
Yeah. Take him down. Cancel Liam Hemsworth.
Very seriously. He is not a nice person.
Okay, so think of him this entire time. People talked about this guy constantly, and they described him as the fellow who will give his father some trouble. Ooh, burn.
Band name.
The fellow who will give his father some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Parentheses, ooh, burn.
I don't think band names are supposed to have parentheses, but sure. Ooh, Burn is their first album.
Yeah. He was so fucking stupid that the eldest son had to basically do every task. He had to, because if it was raining outside, the younger son would probably look up and then drown to death because he wouldn't know to close his mouth.
Like chickens.
Yeah.
That's a real thing that chickens do.
Oh, no.
Yeah, if it rains and they look up, they just drown.
See, I'm about to get rid of pork from my diet because pigs are very smart and I like them a lot and they act like dogs sometimes and blah, blah, blah. Chickens are so stupid. Oh, I'm gonna get murdered by PETA. Please, do it faster. However, when the father asked his really cool, hot eldest son to fetch anything at night when it was dark and spooky, his son would reply, "No, Papa, not at night. It makes me shudder. No, Daddy, please. I fear the dark. Daddy, no." He would say,
Telling lies.
"No, Papa. Eating sugar." Okay. The younger son would hear him, "No, it makes me shudder, Daddy, I'm so afraid." And he would think, like, what the hell does that even mean? What does it mean to shudder? I don't think I've ever shuddered in my whole life. He was so stupid he didn't know what fear was. I don't know why I'm still doing this. The son's weird voice.
He's a fancy boy.
Fancy boy. One day their father said to his young, stupid idiot boy, "You need to figure out how you're not going to die of starvation when you're older. You can't do anything." And the son said, "I am willing to learn one thing. I want to learn how to shudder. Teach me what fear is, Papa." And he was like, "That's not a career." 1, how do you not know what that is? You're so dumb. 2, that's not a job. What do you think we're talking about, Liam? So, meanwhile, the elder brother is like in the back shaking his head like, "You stupid fucking idiot, Jesus Christ." So, their father tells him, "You'll learn how to shudder one day, but that's not a career." So he brought him to the local sexton, which is a person...
The local sextant. He's like, "Go get laid."
"I'll teach you how to shudder." Yeah. So he brings him to the local sexton, which is a person who looks after a church and a churchyard, sometimes acting as a bell ringer or like a grave digger.
Mm.
Why are you smiling like that?
Sounds like a great job.
Honestly, it's not bad.
I dig it.
Anyway, guys, like and subscribe. Ring that bell.
It feels good to be able to have fun and jokes.
It feels good to be able to have fun and jokes.
It does. Look, I don't know how else to say that.
I wish this was alcohols. So the sexton's like, "I'll take in your stupid son as an apprentice. I would love to take your stupid idiot boy. So what kind of jobs can you do, stupid idiot boy?" And the boy's like, "I don't know what fear is. I would like to learn how to shudder." And he's like, "That's not what I asked you." Also, what?
That does open up a lot of job opportunities, though. You could be like a lion tamer. You could be a
skydiver.
Oh, you could work on those, like, the gas rigs out in the middle of the ocean where they have to, like, be stranded for months at a time or whatever. Yeah. Oil rigs. You could
work at a haunted house.
You could be a pilot for low orbit plane flights.
You could be a Supreme Court justice. Anyway.
They don't know fear, but they should.
Make Supreme Court justices afraid again. 2022. Okay, so the sexton is like, "All right, like I said, I'll take you as an apprentice, but he says it less enthusiastically this time because he's like, oh no, how stupid is this boy? Soon, the sexton puts the son to work ringing the church bells. But one night, he wakes the stupid son up at midnight, and he tells him to go into the church tower in the dark and start ringing the bell. And as the boy... This story is so creepy. Starts out on a creepy note. As this young man, this young Liam, if you will, Liam's walking up to the top of the church tower, and the sexton mutters, "You will soon learn what shuddering is." And then he, slips a white sheet over his head, and he slips ahead of him into the church tower.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if there was just a misunderstanding, and the sexton was like, you need to learn how to shudder? Okay. And then he teaches him how to build shutters for windows. In the middle of the night at the top of the tower.
Yeah, that would have been much better. Also, it's kind of like throwing somebody into the pool at the deep end. Being like, learn how to swim. Like, learn how to shudder at night. In the dark when you can't see and you're on top of a roof.
Like, Karate Kid style.
Yeah, honestly. So he sneaks up before him, and when the sun is at the top of the tower, before he can grab the rope to start ringing the bell, he turns around and he just sees a white figure standing on the stairs opposite the sounding hole. Again, I guess with, a sheet over it.
Sextant in the sounding hole.
How do you do how to shudder? So, the boy immediately is like, who's here? And he doesn't get an answer. The sexton just stands there in his, sheet, ominously.
He's like, honestly, I didn't think past this point.
I'm imagining him, giggling under the sheet, too, hee. You'd be so scared. So the boy says, answer me or go away. You have no business being here at night. He's like, nobody else is supposed to be in here, dude. I know the rules.
You're gonna get in trouble, bro.
I'm gonna tell on you. So the sexton just stands there again. And eventually the boy is like, what do you want? Speak if you're honest, or else I'm gonna throw you down the stairs. And then the sexton in his mind thinks, no, he probably won't. I don't think he'd throw me down the stairs. And then he starts to go ooh, and the boy just fucking kicks him down the stairs.
Are we finding out that Liam is American Psycho?
I mean, the American Psycho's much smarter than Liam. So he pushes him down the stairs. So the sexton falls 10 steps down the stairs and remains lying there in a corner, motionless. And Liam Hemsworth then huffs indignantly and is like, I need to go do my job now, stupid stranger ghosts over here just. And so he goes, he rings the bell, then he walks back down the stairs, steps on his lifeless body on the way, and then he goes back to sleep. And the next morning, the sexton's wife wakes him up and asks him if he's seen the sexton. She's like, hey, he didn't come home last night and I don't know where he is. And Liam Hemsworth then says, I don't know, but there was a rando, right, standing near the sounding hole, and he wouldn't tell me who he was, and so I pushed him down the stairs. Oh, I wonder if that was him. The wife's like, what the hell? You pushed a human man down the stairs and didn't think to tell anyone?
I like the idea of him being like, I don't know who it was, and then he's like, oh, maybe it was the sexton, and then he's like, hey, are you the sexton? Because you're the only sexy 10 I see. And then the sexton's corpse gets up and is like, hey.
And then they do a little dance.
Yeah.
Make a little love. Get down tonight. Okay, so the wife immediately runs to the tower. She finds her husband at the bottom of the stairs, and he has a broken leg, and he's really mad. And so she brings the boy back to his...
Okay.
Yeah, he's not dead. He just has a broken leg and couldn't leave the tower all night. So...
Get wrecked.
She immediately brings the boy back to his father and tells him, hey, your boy broke my husband's leg. I don't want him in the house anymore. Fair. And the father is pissed at him, but Liam says, hey, that's not my fault. He was standing in a white sheet, first of all. I asked him 3 times who he was. I warned him that if he didn't answer me or leave, I was going to push him down the stairs. And then I pushed him down the stairs. I feel like that was a lot of, follow through, followed by, warning.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, he shows consistency and an ability to both delegate and follow instructions.
Yes.
So far he's building his resume already.
Yeah, 100%. But the father, for some reason, does not like that. And so he's doesn't believe his excuse. I think the father already wanted to get rid of him from what we've seen.
Oh, yeah. The sexton or the son?
The son. Oh. So the father still decides, I'm going to disown you. So he kicks him out. He gives him 50 tailors, which is money. And he says, and don't come back. But before he says not to come back, the father says, and seriously, if anybody asks you your name, if anybody asks you where you came from, if anybody asks you who your dad is, you better not goddamn tell them anything. Keep your mouth shut. Stitches.
Stitches get snitches.
Sneeches. On beaches. And so the boy's like, okay, I will go. But you're going to want me back because one day I'm going to learn what a shudder is. And when that happens, oh boy, I'll be unstoppable and you'll be proud of me, Papa. And he's like, get out of my house.
This is Lars the Hedgehog all over again.
His name is Hans.
Oh, shit.
Who the fuck is Lars the Hedgehog?
That's his son.
Oh, no. So the boy leaves, right? And on the highway, he's walking. He has his 50 tailers in his pocket, and he's walking, and he's muttering to himself, oh, if I could but shudder. God, if I could but shudder. I bet none of this would have happened if I just knew how to shudder. And a man approaches him on the road and hears him having this conversation with himself. And eventually he's like, hey, if you're looking to shudder, I can teach you how to shudder. And the boy's like, okay. And he's like, you see that gallows over there where 7 men are hanging? There's just, like, bodies on the side of the road. And the boy's like, I sure do. He's like, go sit under those bodies all night. And then they'll teach you how to shudder. And the boy's like, okay, sir. And he's like, and if they do, you'll give me, oh, I don't know, 50 tailors. And he's like, all right, deal. And
I don't know. That doesn't seem like... It doesn't seem like he's rendering a service, and it also doesn't feel like if that were a service, that would be appropriate payment for the services rendered.
This boy's very stupid.
I know, I'm just saying, like, this guy, I guess, clocked him instantly. He was like, this guy's a fucking idiot.
I imagine that he wasn't only saying, if I could but shudder, but he was also saying, and if I had more than 50 tailors in my pocket, but all I have is this 50 tailors, what will I do with this money, though? If only I could shudder. And the guy was like, okay. Hello. Everyone's spade of dead bodies and dark. And so he sits there underneath the 7 hanging men all night. He makes a fire because it starts to get cold. And at midnight, the wind starts blowing so sharply that even with the fire, he couldn't get warm. And all of a sudden, the wind is starting to swing those men back and forth, and they're creaking at the ends of their ropes, and they're knocking against each other. And the sounds of, like, their bones hitting are, like, really upsetting. And he thinks to himself for a second, he looks at the men swinging, and he says, you know, if I'm cold, they're probably freezing because they're not near the fire. So then he goes and he starts to chop them down one by one. He gets them all off their ropes and he sets them around the fire fairly close. They're all like falling onto each other because, again, they are dead people. Mm-hmm. And he's like, there you go. You're welcome. Now all of you are warm. And then a spark catches one of them on fire. And since they're all like leaning into each other, they all just go up in a blaze. And he's like, you stupid idiots, put out that fire. You're just letting yourself burn. You know, if you keep letting yourself burn, eventually I'll probably burn. I know that much. Okay, if you don't put out that fire right now, I'm going to put you back up there. You're going back up there. So he puts out the fire and he hangs them all back up.
How?
One by one.
He's so strong.
He's Liam Hemsworth, okay? He's jacked.
Okay, but he's no Chris.
You think they're like vanity muscles?
Yes.
Okay. So,
this is an anti-Liam Hemsworth episode. Hey,
fuck
Liam,
you,
if
Liam.
you're listening to our podcast, you can go fuck yourself, buddy.
Wait, Liam, are you listening to our podcast? Hold on, Max, look over there. Liam, if you're listening to this podcast, like, what's up? Max hates you, but, like, I think you're pretty cool. Anyway,
he was
Max.
so mean to Miley.
He was. Hey, Liam, I'm not into that. I let people be mean to me for less, and you're rich. And you have citizenship somewhere else.
Can you I just need you to look over there really quickly.
Yeah, what's going on?
Liam, introduce me to Chris, and then go sit in a lake for the rest of your life.
I'm Cal. Hey, Max, what's up? Come back over here. I just got a text from Elsa Pataki, and she said stay away from her man. Anyway.
Hey, I need you to turn away.
Really quick. I'm gonna go over here.
Hey, Liam, can you tell Elsa that I think she's really cool also, and maybe we can all hang out and see a movie?
I just texted Elsa Pataki. She was great in Fast and Furious, and she deserved better. The next day, the man comes back, and he's like, give me 50 tailors. And the boy's like, I still have no idea what a shudder is, so the deal's off. And he's like, those dead people didn't scare you? And he's like, no, bunch of stupid idiots. All they do is be on fire. You know? And the guy's like, I really don't know.
Nobody knows.
And so the youth goes on his way, leaving the man shaking his head at his stupidity. And he's still muttering, if I could but shudder. If I could but shudder. God, I would be unstoppable if I knew how to shudder. And eventually, a wagoner comes up behind him and says, who are you? And the boy's like, I don't know. He's like,
mean you don't know?
And the man says, okay, well, where do you come from? And the boy says, no idea. And he says, who is your father? And he says, can't tell you. And then he says, okay, what are you muttering? And he's like, oh, I'm saying if I could but shudder. And so the man's like, all right, follow me. I'm going to take you to a terrifying place where you can learn to shudder. So they walk and walk until they make it to an inn. And the host of the inn hears the boy muttering, oh, if I could but shudder. And he laughs. And he says that there are good opportunities for shuddering in these parts. And then, this is the Grimm brothers are wild.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I feel like I get an insight into what their minds are like. Because as he says this, his hot daughter then scolds her father and says, so many prying persons have already lost their lives. It would be a pity and a shame if such beautiful eyes as these should never see the daylight again. Like a random NPC just fucking hitting on him and then leaving. She never speaks again. She's like, we need to give him some description.
Yeah.
He's got beautiful eyes.
He's a super hottie. And everybody wants him.
Yeah, and everybody wants to scare him. I just think it's wild. That's her one line and she never comes back. Why add her? So
people were like, hey, why don't you have any women that don't get murdered in any of your stories? And they were like, oh yeah, well.
What about this? So the boy nags the host until he finally tells him what he meant. And the host says, like, nearby there's a haunted castle. And that'll teach you what shuddering is if you could stay for 3 nights inside. But nobody even makes it 1 night in this castle. Mm-hmm. So the king of this land had promised whoever would venture in and stay for 3 nights could marry his daughter, who's the most beautiful maiden in the world. And you know that this, like, freaking host's daughter is like, ah. This is the reason why she didn't want him to tell him about the castle. So in the castle, there are great treasures, but they are guarded by evil spirits. And these treasures would be freed if someone could break the curse by staying for 3 nights without dying of fright. And so the youth goes to the king the next morning and is like, I want to go to the castle for 3 nights, please. 1 ticket to Shuttertown, USA for this old boy.
1 ticket to Shutter Island.
Hello, 1 ticket. Please, to Scooby-Doo Spooky Island. For this boy, Liam Hemsworth, the actor. And the king's like, are you gonna bring your brother Chris? And he's like, yeah!
Everyone always wants to know about Chris.
Chris. We're not even talking about
Leo?
Yeah, we're not talking about the other one, Kyle.
Is there another one?
There is another one. He was
Charlie.
Kyle. Luke. I'm almost positive it's Luke. I'm not even going to look that up. Confident his name is Luke. He was in Thor Ragnarok. He played the Thor in the play.
Oh.
Okay, so the king is like, hey, yeah, you can have that ticket to Shutter Island if you would like.
Let me see your ID, because it's rated R. Are you over 18? He's like, yeah, I'm Liam Hemsworth.
I'm Liam Hemsworth. I'm 47. So, the king says, you can take 3 things with you, but they must be without life. And without missing a beat, this stupid idiot says, I want a fire. And he's like, what? And he's like, I want a turning lathe. And I want a cutting board with a knife. And the king's like, okay.
Sure.
So I'm guessing by I want a fire, he gives him like a lighter.
Or like a tinderbox or something?
I mean, probably
maybe?
A tinderbox, not like a lighter.
One of those,
we're on the same page. Zippo lighters.
No, the ones that they have now that are like plasma, like.
Yeah.
Those ones, I have one and it makes a really terrible sound. I really like the idea of Liam Hemsworth alone in a haunted castle making like lighting things with those like plasma lighters like.
It's like a bug zapper. Yeah. I imagine he gets there and finds the king just gave him a grenade. So they bring it to the castle that day for him.
He gave him his mixtape and he was like, here you go. Fire!
That night, the youth goes to the castle, and he lights a bright fire in one of the rooms, and he places the cutting board and the knife beside it, and he sits himself by the turning lathe, and he cries, if I could but shudder! And then he waits for a while, just kind of hanging out with himself. No thoughts, just vibes. And towards midnight, he's stoking his fire, and as he's blowing on it, something cries out from the corner of the room. Ah! Meow! How cold we are! Meow is spelled M-I-A-U.
Meow.
Ah, meow.
Hey, meow, see?
Meow, see? I'm fucking freezing over here. So the boy rolls his eyes and cries back, "You fools! What are you crying about? If you're cold, come to the fire. Fucking duh." And then 2 great black cats come up with one tremendous leap. I guess they leap together. And they sit down on each side of him, and they have fiery eyes, and they're absolutely terrifying.
The Siamese cats from Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah. Meow.
Yeah.
And so, after a short time, they're warming themselves. They finally are warm enough that they look at him and they say, "Meow, do you want to play a game of cards?" And the boy's like, "Yeah, sure." And then he goes to do they have cards? He goes to move, and then he stops and he goes, "Wait a minute. Let me see your paws." And they're both like, "Meow, okay." They don't say meow again, but I imagine they say it before everything. And so they hold out their paws, and he's like, "Aw, man, your nails are so long. Has no one groomed you at all? You know, this is dangerous, right? You know, first I'm going to cut your nails for you."
Aw. Oh, not all?
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
He seizes them by their throats. He puts them on the cutting board, and he fastens their feet to it. And then he says, "I don't want to play cards with you anymore because your claws are terrible." And then he kills them. Just like that. And then he throws their bodies out the window, and they splash into the river. And then he sits back down.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah.
He is American Psycho.
This part, they weren't even scary. They're like, "You want to play gin rummy?" And he's like, "Fucking fuck you."
Slapjack?
And so, however, as he's going back to his fire, black cats and black dogs with red-hot chains come out of every hole and corner of the room. And more and more of them come until he can't move an inch. And they all yell horribly, and they try to put out his fire. And after watching them for a bit, he's like, "No, everybody get out." And then he does the, puss, puss, puss. I did it the other night perfectly.
Janey can't make the sound. Pss, 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 pss. Like the sound that you make at cats to get them to stop doing things?
I
Puss,
get in my
puss.
head. I know I can make it. I think this is what's frustrating me, is now I have a cat, and I know I can make it, but every time I try, my mouth just fucking it goes dumb. Anyway, I did put it in here. So he makes the sound, right? He's like, "Everybody get out." Pss, pss, pss. Yeah. And then he chases them away with his cutting knife. If you heard that, that was me. I did it. And so...
No, Janey paused, pointed at me, and then I did it.
Not cool, Max.
Not cool, Janey.
And so he comes back to his fire. He warms himself. Eventually, he's like, "You know what? I'm tired." And he sees a bed in the corner of the room, and he's like, "Well, that's perfect." And he goes to sleep in the bed. But the second he closes his eyes, the bed suddenly starts to move on its own, and it starts zooming around the castle like it's a car on the highway. And this man is like, "Faster!" Woo! He's having the greatest time. So even this bed zooming around on its own isn't scaring him. Zooms around like it's being pulled by horses until suddenly it crashes, right? And it flips over on top of him. And he crawls out from under the mattresses and says, "Oh, now anyone who likes may drive." And then he goes back to the fire
What a good bit.
and he falls asleep next to it. This is a wild story.
Hilarious.
So the next day, the king is like, "Whoa, I'm so happy to see you still alive. Did you learn what a shudder was?" And the guy's like, "No. Literally nothing happened. Like a bunch of stupid cats came and kind of inconvenienced me. Oh my god. And then there was this bed that can't even drive." Anyway, I really hope I learn what a shudder is soon. And the king's like, "Okay." Well, 2 more nights, buddy. So, the second night, he sits by the fire and he begins singing his same old song, "If I Could But Shudder," and also "Party in the USA." And so at midnight, an uproar and the noise of tumbling suddenly rings out. And at first it was really low, but eventually it got louder and louder, and then it got quiet.
Ooh.
Then suddenly there was a loud scream, and half of a man fell down the chimney before him.
Which half? Top, bottom, left, right?
So
back?
Liam, our boy Liam, Mr. Hemsworth, the younger Hemsworth, says, "Ah! Hello? Another half belongs to this. This is not enough man." And
Which
then
half?
Then the uproar sounds again, then silence. And then the scream, followed by the second half of the man falling down the chimney.
Which half?
The youth
important.
dragged him out of, the chimney. He stokes the fire up to keep them both warm. And when he turns back, the man's 2 halves have been joined together.
Nice.
Yeah. And he's
Congrats to that guy.
Okay, but the man is now sitting in his place on the bench in front of the fire. And so Liam, scowls at him and says, "Oh, no. that's my seat. And the man tries to push him away, but Liam's pretty strong, and he just kind of thrusts him off the bench and then takes his seat up again and is like, rude. And so suddenly, all sorts of dead men just start to fall out of the chimney. I'm guessing they missed the fire. They roll onto the floor. With them, you're never going to believe this, they bring with them 9 dead men's legs and 2 skulls. What do you think they're going to do with these?
Are they going to play them like a xylophone? Like line up all the skulls and then like use the
They only have 2 skulls.
Oh, I thought each of them had 2 skulls.
No. They have, in total, 9 legs, 2 skulls.
Oh.
They set them up and they start to bowl with them. They start to specifically play 9 pins.
I was close.
Yeah. I mean, they were going to do something silly. It's like straight out of a Betty Boop cartoon.
Yeah, 100%.
So Liam wants to play with them, and they tell him, like, hey, you can play if you got money. And Liam's like, oh, I got money. I got 50 tailors. But then he's also like, hey, your balls aren't round. Like, they're not like...
and inappropriate.
He's like, these skulls aren't gonna, like, roll. And they're like, well, yeah, but they're the only things we have. And he's like, hold on, man. And then he takes the 2 skulls, he puts them in the lathe, and he turns them until they're nice and round. And all the corpses immediately celebrate at how much fun the game is now gonna be because their balls are round. And he plays with them, he loses some money, they, like, I don't know, smoke some weed and high-five a bunch. And then at midnight, the clock strikes midnight, and everything vanishes. And the boy is like, what a fun group of dudes. And then
they're all just like listening to Leonard Skinner and like
they're listening to Party in the USA.
Miller High Life.
This is the champagne of beers, you know. And so the next day, the king comes back and he's like astonished to see that this kid is still alive. And he's like, what happened? And the boy is like, oh, I joined a bowling league. It's amazing.
Guys' night.
Yeah, we're gonna get jackets. It's pretty cool. I still haven't learned how to shutter yet, but like there were some pretty cool dudes. And so the king's like, oh my god, well you have 1 night left, but I'm rooting for you, you weirdo. So the 3rd and final night, the boy sits down on his bench and he says, oh, I wish I knew how to shutter. And then, as it grows late, 6 tall men suddenly walk in carrying a coffin. And he's like, ha! I know that coffin anywhere. It's my cousin who died the other day. Now come on out, you son of a bitch.
What?
Yeah, that's his response.
Did we know about this? Did we know about the cousin?
Nope. He says, come on, little cousin. It's good to see you, man. They place the coffin on the ground, and when he looks inside, he does indeed see his cousin. But his cousin is dead, and is as cold as ice. And so Liam's like, okay, you're awfully cold. It's Chris. Not his cousin. It's dead Chris Hemsworth. Hold on.
Wait, is it actually his brother?
No, it's his cousin.
Okay.
So the boy drags the man out. Like, are you not listening?
I'm trying.
And he's
getting
like
distracted by how much I hate Liam Hemsworth.
He's trying to like warm up his body. He's like trying to like, you know, like rub life into his arms and stuff. And he's like, you're still super cold. And then he looks back at the bed. Hold on, just stay with me. Mm-hmm. And he thinks to himself, you know, when 2 people lie in a bed together, they warm each other. I'm gonna spoon.
Oh my god!
And so he drags his cold, dead cousin to the bed, and he just starts to spoon. And eventually, that does warm up his cousin, and he gets up, and he looks lovingly into his eyes, and then he says, I'm gonna fucking strangle you! And then he tries to pop off his head.
This is
the stupidest story I could find.
This is a porn gone wrong.
Yeah. Or is it gone right, because wait till you hear what's next. Okay. Just kidding. As you can imagine, the stupid boy is like baffled that his cousin's not more grateful for the spooning, and he's like, we used to do this all the time and you liked it then. So he says, this is how you thank me? That's it, you're going back in the box. And he like throws him back into the box, he shuts the lid, and the 6 men come back in and they just carry him away. And he sits back down and he's like, I'm never gonna learn how to shutter. Also, my cousin's kind of a dick. Now that I think about it, he was always kind of an asshole. A man who's taller than all the others suddenly walks into the room. He's really old, he has a long white beard, but he's super jacked. And he says, you wretch, I'll teach you how to shutter, you son of a bitch.
It's J.K. Simmons.
I'm gonna kill you. It's J.K. Simmons. He's terrible.
Pictures of Spider-Man.
If J.K. Simmons came in and said, I'm going to teach you how to shutter, I would be terrified.
I would also be terrified and a little turned on.
No, you'd be really turned on, please.
Like 51-49. Okay. Turned on terrified.
More turned on or less turned on knowing that this is about to be an epic wrestling scene between J.K. Simmons
Way more turned on.
and Liam Hemsworth.
Way more turned on.
And so The young
J.K.
man...
Simmons, kill him.
Yeah! Take off his head! So the young man stops him and says, listen, if I'm gonna die, I think I should have a say in it. And the old man's like, I'm gonna strangle you. And he says, oh, okay, but like, are you? Because I think I'm stronger than you.
Is he trying to debate him?
Yeah.
About
killing
murdering him?
And so he's like, I don't think you can strangle me. I think I'm stronger than you. And the old man is like, if you're truly stronger, then I'll let you go. Come on. And so he leads the stupid idiot back through all these dark passageways. Eventually they get to a smith's forge, and he grabs an axe, and in one hand, like in one blow, he strikes an anvil into the ground.
I have a lot of questions about this castle. Like, who lived here? Who is haunting it? Because it seems like there's a lot of
I think it's J.K.
hauntings.
Simmons' castle, but we get no information on this stupid castle.
But, like, why would there be a bed that can fly? Why would there be a bunch of skeletons that go bowling? Like,
well, I think we're following the one character that doesn't think to ask these questions.
I know, but, like, just in what circumstances would this be the haunting that followed from the events that occurred in this castle?
Do you remember nothing from watching High Spirits?
I do remember a lot from watching High Spirits. You're right. That's fair.
The documentary would explain exactly this. Guys, go watch High Spirits. It's fucking phenomenal.
Also watch the BBC show Ghosts, because this also sounds like that.
So good.
Don't watch the US one. It's bad.
Yeah, it's not great. So, the old man, J.K. Simmons, he takes this axe and he knocks an anvil into the ground with one blow. Very strong. And the boy laughs and is like, I can do that. So J.K. Simmons sits down nearby to watch, and his long beard is hanging all the way down.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And the youth takes the axe. Can you tell I'm reading? I copied that, the youth. Mm-hmm. Liam Hemsworth takes the axe, he splits the anvil in one blow, and he catches the man's beard in the process. So now J.K. Simmons is, like, trapped, and he's like, hey, let go of my beard. And then Liam Hemsworth
Don't tell me.
Picks up an iron bar and beats this old man mercilessly.
Okay, well, that's obviously, like, CGI.
No, it doesn't happen.
In no world would
Happening
Liam
in real life.
Hemsworth kick J.K. Simmons' ass. It's simply not possible.
Okay, but J.K. Simmons is, like, trapped by the beard.
J.K. Simmons would chew his own beard off.
Okay.
I stand by it. I'm right.
I stand by it. Eventually, the old man is like, stop, I'll tell you where the treasure is, okay? I'll tell you where literally anything is. There are 3 chests of treasure. I'll take you to them. You keep one, give one to the king, and give the rest to the poor. I don't fucking care. Just, like, stop beating me with that iron bar. And so Liam Hemsworth pulls out the axe and releases him, and he's led to a cellar where, indeed, there are 3 chests of gold, and the old man's like, there, you idiot, and then he disappears. So the next day, the king comes in, and he's like, oh my god, you're just sitting on all this gold, and you're holding a lead pipe? I'm so confused. And he's like, here you go. And the king asks him, like, you did a really good job. Did you learn what shuddering is? And the boy's like, no, I didn't. I still don't know what it is. And the king's like, okay, well, you still want to marry my daughter? And he's like, I guess. And so he gets married to the king's beautiful daughter.
Depends. How spooky is she? Can she or can she not scare the shit out of me?
I would like the scariest woman you could possibly find. It's Natasha Lyonne. And so he gets married to Natasha Lyonne. I'm trying to think of how I would do a Natasha Lyonne impression, and then I remembered I don't do impressions for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Ah! No, honey.
That's bad and rude.
It's time for you and I to kiss. Make out a little. It's me, Natasha Lyonne.
Natasha Lyonne, this is not what we think of you, and I'm so sorry. We love you.
I don't see the difference. The wedding celebration is beautiful and festive. The young king loves his wife very much. She's beautiful, and she's funny, and she's a real New Yorker. But he never stops complaining about how he doesn't know how to shudder. Day in, day out, he will only talk about how he wants to shudder. Oh, everybody else can shudder. I just watched her. She did it. She shuddered. I don't know what that means. This is crazy. And it drives Natasha Lyonne crazy. She's, like, at her wit's end. So finally, she speaks to her waiting maid, and she's like, we gotta do something about this. And the waiting maid's like, okay, I'll teach him how to shudder. That night, the maid goes out to the stream. She gets a whole bucket full of cold water from the stream. Mm-hmm. And that night, when the king is asleep, his wife quietly strips off all his clothes, and they empty the bucket full of cold water all over him. And there's little fish inside, and they start, like, splashing about and flopping all over him. He does the ice bucket challenge, and he wakes up and cries, oh, what makes me shudder so? And then he screams out, "Oh, I get it!" The end. That story basically ends on, like, a dad joke, kind of.
Yeah, there should be, like, an outro riff with that.
Nope.
Like a Seinfeld style, like, wow, 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 wow.
And then they killed him.
That's the worst man.
That's
so
the
far.
worst, the stupidest boy in the whole world.
That's the least pleasant individual we've encountered.
Yeah, no, that's the worst one.
Like, we've seen a lot of dudes who, like, do murder and stuff like that, and somehow this man is worse.
Yeah. Also, Natasha Lyonne and Liam Hemsworth seems like a cursed pairing.
Very cursed. Also, I'm shocked that she didn't try and murder him in his sleep to
If she was Natasha Lyonne, then she would have.
Yeah.
So that story was called The Story of the Youth Who Went Forth to Learn What Fear Was. I don't think that's a good title. Maybe like The Stupid Idiot Who Could Not Shudder. You know?
Mm-hmm.
The Haunted Mansion. Disney's The Haunted Mansion, starring Eddie Murphy. Nailed it. We did it.
I feel like it should be something like Dumb and Dumber.
Shud and Shudder. All right, well...
The Dumb and the Shudderers.
Yes. Shutter Island.
Scooby-Doo on Spooky Island.
Okay.
Full circle.
Well, we fucking did it, guys. You want to take a break?
I do.
Okay, let's do it. Bye!
Not bye. Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
I have another tale for you from a book that I have just about wrung dry.
Nope.
It is Monstrous Tales, Stories of Strange Creatures and Fearsome Beasts from Around the World, with illustrations by Xia Hong. This is a collection of fairy tales and stuff from around the world. We've used it like 30 times already in this podcast. Every single story in it is gold.
It went like baby viral on Instagram. Because the illustrations are so pretty.
Oh my god. I finally just went to Xia Hong's website. She went to Syracuse University. She is an activist for Chinese women, and she's done a bunch of like talks and stuff like that, and she seems incredibly rad. So look at her stuff if you can. All of her art is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. The story that I'm going to tell you today from this book is called Nya-nya Bulembu, or The Moss Green Princess, a Swazi tale.
Love it. So excited.
So this comes to us from South Africa, specifically from the Swazi people, who are an ethnic group and a sovereign nation within South Africa today. But this story was collected by two women, E.J. Borhill and J.B. Drake, on their trip to South Africa in 1906. So important to say that these are I did some research on this and I couldn't find anything about them beyond the fact that this book exists. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty clear-ish that they're both white women writing about African peoples in 1906. Yeah. So I think that the story does a very respectful job. I read the intro to see if I could get some more information on how they gathered it, or from whom, or sort of what the perspective was going in. I wasn't able to find too terribly much, but the intro is very nice. So I'm just going to read a little bit of that to you. The introduction is titled To All Children Who Still Love Fairy Tales. And also this book is available for free online on Google Books and also on archive.org. So we have that linked in the show notes. But the intro is titled To All Children Who Still Love Fairy Tales. This book is also called Fairy Tales from South Africa. So it's specifically stories from South Africa. Mm-hmm. So all the stories in this book are fairy tales just as much as Jack the Giant Killer or The Sleeping Beauty. By this I mean that they are traditional, handed down by word of mouth. No one knows how old they are or who told them first. But little Kafir children sit round the fire at night and hear them from their old grandmother, and sometimes, but very, very seldom, white people are allowed to hear them too. You see, the Kafirs are afraid white people would laugh at them, and so they will only begin if they are quite sure you are really interested. Even then, they never like to tell tales by daylight, for they say that if they do, a wicked spirit will cause a horn to grow out the middle of their forehead, and they will become as ugly as an imbula, and I don't know what, an ogre.
Rhinos everywhere are like, oh, what?
Sometimes they can be persuaded, but then they always take a piece of grass and place it in their hair to ward off evil, lest they be bewitched.
Oh, that's cool.
But the best time to hear the tales is in the evening when all the work is done. Then a huge fire is made, and when all the children have played till they are tired, and sung and danced till they can remember no more songs to sing, they gather in a circle and lie upon the ground where they can best see the storyteller. I really like that it starts off by saying, like, these are just as much valid and important fairy tales as the fairy tales that we've grown up with in, like, Europe and things like that.
Yeah.
And in, like, traditionally white countries and things like that. So I thought that was really cool. The introduction does have kind of a weird tone of, like, white saviorism, where it's like, oh, we're coming here and teaching them how to be a civilized society. And it's like, that's not
It's
real
a whole
or
Mabel,
okay.
Mabel Cook call in the Philippines in 1904.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like specifically says like, oh, the African peoples were warlike until white people came and taught them how to settle down. And it's like, that's just
Really?
not...
Historically, that just doesn't track, does it?
So that's where it comes from. Again, E.J. Borhill and J.B. Drake from 1908, not 1906. So that's where this comes from. But, again, the story is called Nya-nya Bulembu, the Moss Green Princess. I also had 2 caffeinated beverages before this, and now I'm drinking a Miller High Life because...
Bring it down.
Yeah. So I'm going to stumble over my words a whole lot, and I apologize. This is also obviously in a South African language/dialect, so I'm going to do my best with the pronunciation, but please be patient with me, all ye listeners here. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Princess Katila. Her mother loved her. She was the light of her mother's life. Her father was the king, and he hated her mother, and as a result, he hated her.
Okay.
He had all these other wives, other queens, and he had another queen and a daughter by that queen named Mapindane, who was, very beautiful, and he loved her mother more than he loved Katila's mother, and so he loved Mapindane more than he loved Katina. Katila grew up, when she was very young, she was incredibly beautiful and only showed evidence that she was going to continue being more and more and more beautiful. Mm-hmm. And the king began to worry that she was going to be more beautiful than Mapindane, and so he decided to try and make that not happen. So he decides to dress Katila in the skin of the Nya-nya Bulembu to scare off any kind of suitors or anything that might find her beautiful. What is a Nya-nya Bulembu? You might be wondering.
I was wondering. That's exactly what I was wondering.
A Nya-nya Bulembu is an aquatic creature with long, white, sharp teeth and long, sharp claws. It has skin that is covered in bright green moss. Its name, Nya-nya Bulembu, literally means the despised one covered with moss. It is a fairy beast, and it is not wise to meddle with them.
That's cool.
So the king decides that he's going to have Katila wear the skin of the Nya-nya Bulembu in order to scare people off, because it's like, oh, a scary monster, not a princess. Ah.
Oh, no. So it's like a onesie, like it covers everything. It's not just like a coat. Aww.
So he calls all of his chief counselors and he says, fetch me the skin of the Nya-nya Bulembu to clothe Princess Katila. Fetch it from a creature which is young, with regular teeth, sharp claws, and a perfect skin, well covered with green moss. And so he sends out all of his men. He has them bring mealie bread to entice the creature out of the water.
Couldn't he just say no to any suitors?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the king. He could just say, no, you can't marry my daughter.
This guy is petty as fuck. Though. Right. He wants to ruin her life. Like, he's a bad person who wants no one to ever have fun.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he is bad. So all of his hunters go out and they find this deep black pool, right? And they sing the song of Nya-nya Bulembu, which is Nya-nya Bulembu, Nya-nya Bulembu, come out of the water and eat me. The king has sent for the great Nya-nya Bulembu. Come and let us see you, laugh, and show us your teeth. That is the song of Nya-nya Bulembu.
It's so weird, because that's how people get me out of my house, too.
Come out of here and eat us.
Okay.
As soon as they sing this song, a huge old monster surfaces in the water. Its head comes out, and they see that its skin is all dull, and it's lost most of its teeth. It has like 2 or 3 very worn down teeth left, and its eyes are all cloudy, and its claws are sort of like down to stumps and everything. Aww. Very, very old monster. Probably has dentures.
So sad.
And it has barely any moss on it.
He's FaceTiming with his grandchildren and only like the very top of his forehead is visible.
And barely any moss is stuck to his skin because his skin is all like wrinkled and it's dry and everything like that.
So they're like, that's not that. Sorry, sir, not you.
Yeah. Literally, what they say in the story is, no, said the huntsman at once. We don't want you. Can you imagine being this sweet old monster and like everyone leaves you alone for years and then someone comes and sings a song, he's like, come and eat us. Ooh, you're so handsome. And then you're like, ooh, who's there? And you poke your head out of the water and they're like, oh, no, never mind. Bye.
Who else is down there? What else you got?
Man.
Rude.
So the huntsmen continue on, and they go through this massive storm, and when they come out the other side, it's beautiful and sunny, and they come to another large, deep pool. And this one is bright blue. It is as blue as the sky above, and the waters are perfectly serene.
Oh.
And they sing the song again, and they call the Nya-nya Bulembu, and they prepare this mealy bread to lure it out, basically. And another Nya-nya Bulembu appears. This one is younger, and it looks vicious. Like, this one looks like it would, like, yeah, it would fight you in the back parking lot of a Subway. Like, but it has very little moss on it, and it has one tooth that is 3 feet long. So, like, one super long, useless tooth.
Because it was fighting in the back alley of Subway.
Yeah, it got all of its teeth knocked out. And the huntsmen say, no, we don't want you either. And then it, like, goes like, oh, and, like, sinks back into the water, I assume.
I like that it's like, you don't, oh, okay. And then it, like, listens instead of trying to eat them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like these monsters should be way more rude to these huntsmen.
I also like that they're not killing them. They're not like, monster, and then just getting rid of monsters. They're like, no, sorry, not you. Go about your business. We're not monsters, so we're just looking for one.
Sorry, my bad. Just, back to what you were doing.
You said something? No, we didn't say anything.
Oh,
I
sorry.
thought I heard.
There was a guy here, and he called you, but then I think he left.
We told him to shut up, not bother you.
So they keep walking down the river, and they find a third pool. And this one is bright, bright green. It's covered over with a thick algae. I imagine kind of like duckweed that is like a bright yellow green. It has fringes of grass growing up underwater around the edges.
Nice.
And it's like glittering in the sun, a beautiful, perfect, super deep green pool. And so they sing the song of the Nya-nya Bulembu again. And this time, a Nya-nya Bulembu comes out. It has a thick, beautiful velvety coat of moss and long, beautiful white teeth, a full mouth of teeth, and these long, perfectly sharpened claws. And they're like, now that's the Nya-nya Bulembu I'm talking about.
Yeah, look at that sexy beast.
So they lay out the bread along the shore, and they wait for the Nya-nya Bulembu to come up. Nya-nya Bulembu comes up to eat the bread, and they catch it in a net.
I'm sorry. This monster eats bread?
Mm-hmm.
I'm beginning to think maybe they are misjudging Nya-nya Bulembu.
That's what its teeth are for like baguettes. You know, the really hard ones that you have to like gnaw into with your back teeth.
And they actually like, they stick them on. You know how you stick receipts onto those like spike things when you're at a restaurant? They just stick all these baguettes onto their long teeth.
And they chew them like gum throughout the whole day.
Aw, yeah. Baguette holders.
Carbs, baby. So they capture this Nya-nya Bulembu in a net, and they bring him back to the King's Kraal, which is his, like, city, the city of the throne, basically.
Yeah.
Once they get close to the kraal, they start singing to the men inside to have their assegais, which are long spears, ready. They're like, hey, we're coming back with a monster. You guys better be ready with your spears.
Come out and eat us!
And they tell the men inside to meet them at the gate with these spears, and they get into the city, and they drag the Nya-nya Bulembu in, and then all the men stab it with spears, and it dies. Yeah. Very sad.
Why didn't they kill it there?
Because it would be harder to get it back. They might have had it walking.
Wow, that's rude.
Yeah, right?
Somehow that's
Pretty
worse.
terrible. I know. So they bring the dead body of the Nya-nya Bulembu to Katila's mother, the queen that the king hates.
She has to be the one to make this goddamn dress?
Yes.
Oh my god. What did she do? Like, honestly, what did she do?
Absolutely nothing as far as I can tell. This guy's just an asshole.
What an asshole.
So they bring it to her to be prepared and everything. They cut into the body, and with the first cut, all of this beautiful beadwork starts spilling out. All of these necklaces and bracelets and girdles and these like beautiful like embroidered little bags that are like bejeweled and everything.
Like a piñata.
Perfectly woven mats and everything. They all start coming out of the Nya-nya Bulembu, where they made an incision.
Yeah.
And they keep pulling more and more treasures out, and there's just more and more treasures inside. And they have developed this huge pile at this point, and they're like, the princess will never want for anything again, basically. Like, this is, they put it aside to be her dowry, kind of as a joke, because they're like, well, no one's going to marry her now, so we'll just put all this treasure in her dowry for, you know, when a man totally comes along and marries her, even though she's dressed up as Nya-nya Bulembu. So
It's weird that the king didn't immediately take that.
Yeah, it is.
Decided to be a petty asshole with it.
And then finally, they start to strip the skin off of the Nya-nya Bulembu, and the treasures stop coming out.
Jeez.
They're careful to keep the teeth and claws and everything intact, and they strip off the skin of the Nya-nya Bulembu, and they wrap Kitila in it. And it fits her perfectly. It fits like a second skin. So much so that she can never take it off. It basically like forms to her and makes her look exactly like a Nya-nya Bulembu. And she can never take it off. She can never do anything. She basically just looks like a Nya-nya Bulembu forever.
Jeez.
Also, I am really proud of myself so far that I've been saying Nya-nya Bulembu so many times, and I've only fucked it up a couple of times.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
This word sounds so normal to me now. The first time you said it, I was like, whoa, that's such a strange word.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah, Nya-nya Bulembu, I get it. And then what next? Oh, they're just piñatas? Okay, I fully accept this. Keep going.
Yes. But they're still like fairy creatures, So, just as a reminder. So Kitila now has to wear this forever. She looks like a Nya-nya Bulembu, like a big green monster that everyone's terrified of. But she and her sister Mapendane, her half-sister, they're still both the same age and they're best friends. So
Aww.
Even though she's a monster and all the kids are afraid of her now, she and Mapendane always play together every afternoon. The other kids both wouldn't want to play with them because they're afraid of her, and also they're not allowed to because Mapendane and Kitila are both princesses. So they have to play separately from everyone else.
That's
but the
so
two of them,
sad.
I know, right? But the two of them play together, and Katila's always wearing this like monster skin, and Mapendane, her father, keeps giving her all of these like beautiful clothes, all of these like beautiful leopard skins and everything that she wears all the time. And so it's just these two little girls, and one of them is a green monster, and the other one is dressed like a princess. And they just like to hang out outside, and they'll have like their little lunch outside, and they'll leave little crumbs out, and all these little birds come up and play with them, and they eat the crumbs. And so it's just these two little girls playing with birds, and eating snacks. Mapendane grows up very, very beautiful, incredibly beautiful. Probably not as beautiful as Kitila would have been, but still, very beautiful.
Yeah.
The most beautiful of the king's princesses, if there are more. Kitila, unfortunately, still looks like a monster. She looks like a slightly bigger monster. One year, the king's men go collect water from the ocean because it's needed for like a ritual to banish evil from the kingdom. It's the festival of the first fruit, which is like, the first harvest of the year, I assume. And they go to gather seawater for this ritual to banish evil, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone else, in preparation for the king's men to come back with the water, they all go out to collect the first fruits of the season to create a massive feast for when they return. Meanwhile, the only people left in the kraal in the city are Mapendane, Mapendane's mother, and Kitila. They're basically the only
Where's
people.
Her mom? Oh, probably just fruit.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably. The king probably was like, you should do manual labor, because I hate you.
God.
So the two girls are outside playing with the birds that they play with every single day. Mm-hmm. And then a huge flock of rock pigeons, like massive, blocks out the sun for a minute. Mm. All these rock pigeons come down, and they see this spooky green monster. And they're like, ooh, no thank you. And then they see Mapendane, who's dressed as a princess, and they're like, ooh, yeah.
Oh, no!
And so all these rock pigeons come down, and they seize Mapendane, and they fly up into the air with her, and they fly away.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
The queen, Mapendane's mother, says, there goes the lovely princess. There goes the king's favorite child. And she screams. Which is like, okay,
right,
unnecessary
bitch.
rude.
Yeah.
Then I could be like, oh no, there goes your sister who everyone likes more than you and she's prettier than you. Oh my god.
Oh god, there goes the one that's not cursed to be a monster all her life.
So,
oh, now we're just left with this stupid idiot? Oh!
So what happens to Mapendane, they let us know at this point, Mapendane, the rock pigeons fly her away up north to another kingdom. Mm. She lives there for a little while, the people take care of her, and then one day the king of that kingdom is passing through. He sees Mapendane, she's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. They get married, and she lives happily ever after.
This is kind of like the Bird of Sorrow.
Yes.
Okay, so she lives the Bird of Sorrow life. On her own. Okay, meanwhile.
So that all happens, but she can't get word back to her parents that she's okay, because the rock pigeons have flown her so far that not only is it not within, like, mailing distance. But also, nobody in her new kingdom has ever even heard of her home kingdom. That's how far away she is.
Wow.
So she's never able to get word back to her parents, and she's never able to find her way back home. So they just don't know what happened to her. They assume that she was eaten by birds.
Honestly, they deserve this.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, they deserve this. She deserves to have a good life, and they deserve to be upset for the rest of theirs.
Yeah. So the king and queen, they're like, oh my god, our daughter was eaten by birds. I hate it when this happens.
Damn it!
And they blame Katila because they're like, you should have scared off those birds, you know? Because that's her job, I guess.
That was not in the job description.
And they make it so Katila is no longer treated as a princess. They effectively kind of banish her. The king tells her to go live outside of the kraal in the fields and to sit in the fields and scare away birds that try and eat the grain, because he's like, guess what? Now it is your job to scare away birds.
My daughter, the scarecrow.
Yeah, he's like, you suck. You should have saved her, and you didn't, and nobody has any use for you beyond this, so go scare the birds.
Rude.
Yeah, he's a bad dad. Believe it or not, he's not a good dad. So she's banished to the point that nobody even calls her by her name anymore. They call her Nya-nya Bulembu. And to all intents and purposes, that's all that she is. Yeah. You know, she's not treated as a princess anymore. Nobody comes to see her except for her mother very occasionally when she's allowed to leave. She complains to her mother. She says, you know, like, this isn't fair. I can't believe I was born into this life. Like, I wish I was dead, blah. And her mom says, remember, Bulembus have magic gifts. Do not despair. All will come right presently. So she basically says, like, hey, this sucks, but you're wearing the skin of, like, a magical fairy creature, so something might happen, things might work out, you know?
Yeah.
Katila works in the fields, she scares off the birds and everything, and one day, an old man comes through the fields, and he, like, pauses to talk to her, and he tells her that he's actually a fairy in disguise. And he takes pity on her. She tells him, like, what happened and everything, and he takes pity. He says, I'm going to give you this stick, right? And this is a really great stick for chasing off birds, one, which, I mean, I guess is probably going to come in handy for you.
Yeah.
But also, if you scare off birds with this stick all day, then when you go to take a bath, take this stick with you into the water, and your true form will be revealed while you're bathing.
Only when you're in water?
Mm-hmm. But you cannot lose this stick and you cannot let it go, or else you will be stuck like this forever, basically.
Damn it.
You'll never be able to turn back.
Damn it.
So, you know, she continues scaring off the birds with the stick, and then every afternoon, at the hottest point in the afternoon, when all the animals are asleep, all the people have gone into their houses, she goes to a little pond upriver, and she steps into the water, and she puts her stick in the water, and then all of the moss that covers her floats away downstream.
Cute.
And she turns back into a beautiful princess who's now an adult, you know, which she probably hasn't seen herself ever.
Yeah.
It's been years. Yeah. But, you know, she probably still can't because she's in a pool of water. But she
can look down at her reflection. Ooh,
Ooh. The underside of my boobs.
Nice.
Hell yeah. And she sings the song, and hundreds of fairy girls come and play with her while she's singing in the pond. And they all just play with her, and she hangs out with them for the afternoon until it starts to get dark. And then she gets out of the water, and, you know, her Nya-nya Bulembu skin, like, reforms around her, and she goes back. But as she is singing to all these fairies, she sings the song, Nya-nya Bulembu, here I am. I was dressed like a monster, but I am like any girl. Today they fed me with the dogs.
Aw.
Because she's treated like an animal at this point.
Yeah.
And if she wants, she can hold her stick and she can call for food, and a feast will appear before her. And so she just hangs out and eats with all of her little fairy friends and everything in this pond. But then, you know, eventually she has to get out of the water and turn back into Nya-nya Bulembu. Children who live out near the fields will see this monster out in the field scaring birds, and they're terrified of her. Yeah. Right? But some of them notice that she's going to take a bath in the water every once in a while. And so they decide, because they're nosy little squirts, they decide to follow her. So one day, they all follow her as she goes for her bath, and they hide in the bushes. And they see her.
Is this a John Hughes movie?
I know, right? This is Revenge of the Nerds.
Just like a bunch of little Anthony Michael Halls in here.
Yep. Oh.
Gross.
Yeah. So they see her, you know, get into the water with her stick, and then all of her Nya-nya Bulembu skin floats away, and they see a beautiful princess, and they're all like, oh my god. And so they all run back to the kraal, and they tell Katila's mother, the queen. They go to her first because they don't say this in the story, but I imagine because she like takes care of the kids. Now that her daughter is gone, she just kind of takes care of the kids in the village. That's what I assume, because they all immediately run to her. They don't go to their parents. They go to her. And they tell her like, Queen, we saw something down in the forest. Down by the river, there was this horrifying monster, but then it got into the water and it turned into a beautiful princess. And the queen is like, that's great. Please don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
But the queen is like, oh, thank God, like my daughter found a way to sometimes be herself and like, you know, that's great. One day, a prince comes to visit the king. He is young and handsome and wise. He is specifically known for being very, very wise and thoughtful as a ruler. His father is old, and he told his son, the prince, to go find a wife. He was like, go around the lands, and then the most beautiful woman you've ever seen, ask for her hand. And the prince has gone through everywhere that he can find, and he hasn't found a princess that he feels any kind of attraction to whatsoever. So he's kind of passing through this kingdom, and he stops by with the king and the queen, and he asks them, do you have any daughters that I could marry? Hypothetically.
Hello. Hear me out. I'm shopping.
The king says, and this is verbatim, yes, but I have only one. You shall see her with pleasure. And then Mapandane's mother, with a bitter laugh, says, let the prince see the monster. And they send him out to the field. The prince goes out to the field, and he's kind of looking around, and he doesn't really see anything.
He's weirdly pranking this prince at
I know,
this point.
right?
Like, why are you being such a dick
because
to him?
they're cruel and bitter people.
Yeah, okay.
Like, her I get, because her daughter was eaten by birds. So she knows. But he's just an asshole this whole time for no reason.
Yeah. Jesus.
The prince goes out to the fields where they tell him to go, and all of these children are playing around, and they run up to him. They're like, Prince, hi! And he's like, hello. And they're like, hey, you want to see something cool?
Oh my God, these kids don't listen.
And he's like, yeah, I want to see something cool. And the kids are like, there's a monster who lives in these fields, but sometimes she goes and takes a bath, and it's like, okay, we're not even going to tell you. You just have to come with us. And he's like, okay.
He's like, I would love to see a monster take a bath. That sounds hilarious.
It does sound hilarious. So these kids kind of like drag him over to this pond, and they're like, shh, you have to be really quiet. And they like hide in the bushes. And he sees this monster who has made her way over from the fields. And he sees this monster coming up, and he's like, a monster. And they're like, yeah, a monster. And he's like, oh my God. And then he sees the monster put one foot in the water, and then put the stick that it's carrying into the water. And then he sees the moss on the monster begin to float downstream.
Oh, this is very chilling. I
know, right?
This.
And then the monster sort of like dives into the water, and he sees this whole long cloak of moss float down river. And then she comes up out of the water, and he sees the most beautiful woman he's ever seen in his entire life.
Naked!
Yeah.
Covers his eyes.
She pops her head out of the water, and he sees the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. And in that moment, he like immediately falls in love with her, and he's like, I don't care if she's cursed. Even if I get to spend like an hour a day with this beautiful woman when she's bathing, I will marry her in a second.
Oh yeah, you don't mind if she's also in the bathtub every time you guys hang out? Like, come on.
All
you
right.
Stupid horny asshole. Come on to you.
And he makes a vow to himself in that moment. He's like, I'm gonna marry her. Like, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I love her so much. So he goes back to the king, and he says, I'll marry your monster. And the king is like, what? You want to what? And he's like, I'm going to marry your monster. So get her ready to be married. And so the king like goes and like sends people after Nya-nya Bulembu and brings her to the castle. The prince goes back to his home, and he sends as a gift to the king and queen 100 cows for the king and 100 cattle for the queen, just to indicate how much he respects and like his high esteem for Nya-nya Bulembu.
Yeah.
For Katila.
This is going specifically to Katila's mom.
This is going to... It's not clear.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You would hope.
You would hope.
Yeah.
But so he goes back home to wait for her, because it's custom that the princess goes to the bridegroom's home, his kraal, to be married.
Yeah.
And so he goes back home and he waits for her. And he tells everyone in his kingdom, and they're all like, oh, wise prince, what did you find? And he's like, I found the most beautiful woman that there ever was, and she's coming here, she's going to marry me. And they're like, finally, hooray, huzzah.
Oh no.
And then all the people are waiting outside, and they are waiting to see this beautiful princess that he's promised them and everything. And they see coming down the road this big mossy green monster attended by 4 bridesmaids. And they're all like, "Hey, Prince, are you sure this is a good like, we know that you're super wise, but like,
he lets
are
out, like,
you sure?"
like a really nice, like, isn't she lovely?
I'm so lucky. And they're all like, "Hey, Prince,
Excuse us. We're gonna talk over here. Not about you. About something else."
So all of his people say, "What was our wise prince thinking?" And meanwhile, the princess is walking up and she sees all these people muttering, and they're shrinking away from her because they think that she's a monster.
Yeah.
And this is also a quote from the story. "The poor princess sat at the door of the chief hut, trembling lest she should be refused admittance, and the prince repent of so bad a bargain."
Okay.
Basically, she's outside and she's terrified that he's going to see her again and be like, "Oh, I fucked up." And she's like, and that they're going to murder her.
I remember you being hotter.
Yeah, and that they're going to be like, "Oh, that's a monster, kill it." So she's sitting outside and she's shaking and waiting for him to show up. And then he comes out of the door and he's like, "My beautiful princess." And he embraces her. And he receives her in, and she goes off to her marriage hut, and all of her bridesmaids prepare her for her wedding and everything. So the night before, they like brush out her moss and everything, and they let her go to sleep. And then the next morning, they all walk her out to the river to bathe in preparation for, being married.
Oh no.
And she steps into the water with her stick.
Yeah.
And instead of the moss floating downriver as it has every other time, as soon as she touches the water, the moss lifts up into the air and it flies away back towards her home kingdom.
Aww.
And the moss flies all the way back to her mother's doorstep and lands there. And her mother opens the door and she sees this mossy cloak, and she knows in that moment that her daughter is safe and happy.
Aww. They're so happy.
I know. So the princess emerges from the water, no longer a Nya-nya Bulembu, but Katila in her true form. Mm-hmm. She's received by all of her handmaidens and all of the women of the kingdom, who are all going to be her friends, and they're all so excited to meet her, and they dress her in the most beautiful clothing, and she's finally married to this prince who loves her so much. All of the people of the kingdom are like, "We were wrong. You are the best."
I am imagining that when she steps out, they're all like, "Oh, good." And you see the dressmaker holding this giant dress, and they're like, "Good. Oh, I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy. Get back to the tent. We have to hem." Like, what a nightmare for anybody who was charged to make clothes for the Nya-nya Bulembu.
God, you're right. God. They have to postpone the wedding for a full day so they can make her a new dress.
The shoemaker is like, "I made 4 giant boots."
And they're open-toed for her big old claws. And now you're telling me that she's got little princess feet?
Okay,
God,
back to the drawing board. I better get paid for this.
And all the people of the prince's kingdom celebrate, and they're like, "We love our beautiful princess."
Yeah.
And people come from kingdoms all around to see this most beautiful woman anyone has ever seen. And Katila lives happily ever after with the prince, her true love. And also, at the end of the story, it's like, they lived happily ever after. Also, the king suffers forever because he never finds out what happened to his favorite daughter, but he keeps hearing about how lucky and happy Katila is and how their kingdom is prospering, and nobody cares about him, and he can get fucked.
Yeah!
The end.
Finally, a story has everything I want in the end.
I know. My only thing that I wish is that, like, somehow Katila was able to find her sister.
I'm happy with her sister being far away. You know, because it sounds like they were both able to live like really good lives without each other. Mm-hmm. But also it sounds like if they were reunited, there would maybe still be some contention with her father. Like, her father would still be able to use that. Like, I like that they're apart. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And Map and Dane, they make a point to be like, and she's super happy.
She's living that Bird of Sorrow life. Which everyone knows is a good life for some reason.
Yeah. I also love... I think we need a Disney princess who's a bog beast.
Yeah.
That's my
God,
pitch.
where's our... I also want to say...
princess.
We do have a swamp princess, technically. It's the princess in the swamp.
Princess and the Swan.
The princess and the frog.
But Tatiana never turns into a swamp monster.
She turns into a frog. That's basically a swamp monster.
Frogs aren't monsters. They're friends.
Oh, my bad.
You racist.
I'm so sorry. I would like to take this time to do a 7-part apology to the frog community who listens to this podcast.
Yeah, I absolutely love this story. And again, this illustration by Xia Hong for this book, we'll upload it onto the Instagram, but it's incredibly beautiful.
Also, she's bald. It's a bald woman, and a beautiful, gorgeous bald woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Really, really beautiful. Xia Hong, all of her illustrations are just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Beautiful and colorful, and it's just her with her long crooked stick standing in the water, and there's like a waterfall falling behind her, and I think you can see like little bunnies and all these little fairies in the water and everything like that around her, so.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I really like that she was kind of fine with being a swamp monster who had fairy friend tea time once a day. Like, obviously she wasn't thrilled about it, but she was like making do, you know what I mean?
I was so afraid she was going to lose her stick. Mm-hmm. Also, I hope she kept the stick just in case anybody else had some sort of magic.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that man wasn't, like, necessarily a fairy man, but do you think that he had been cursed at one point and somebody had given him the stick and then he carried it around and, like, passed it on to the next person who had been wrongfully cursed?
Yeah, you gotta pay your curse cures forward.
Yeah. I also am a little... I would like more justice for the original Nya-nya Bulembu. Mm-hmm. What I was hoping you were going to say is that the moss coat floated back to its original river and then reformed as that original Nya-nya Bulembu.
I also wish that.
But also I'm worried about them because now that they know that when they cut them open, like candy and stuff
I was also
out,
worried about that.
Like, they're about to go hunt that old one. They're like, what antiques do we have here?
Yeah. Oh, it also mentions that, you know, when she marries the prince, they get her massive dowry.
Yeah,
so,
they do.
Yeah. So they're
and
rich forever.
And then she puts out a protection order for all Nya-nya Bulembu.
I hope so.
In the kingdom. Yeah.
What
a good story. That was delightful. I needed that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I have this image of the Nya-nya Bulembu in my head. Also, I should say, I mentioned last week that I finished my last notebook. And so this notebook that I have is by the paper company Denik, D-E-N-I-K. And the cover illustration is done by Fawnwood, F-A-U-N-W-O-O-D.
Iconic illustrator, especially on Instagram.
Miranda Zimmerman, their art is just the most beautiful thing in the entire world. And so it's like all of these mossy, swampy creatures with horns and everything. So that's kind of what I'm picturing for the Nya-nya Bulembu, but also like a dragon-y face with like long swamp fur all over it.
I hate to say it, but I was just imagining a walrus the whole time. I was only imagining like kind of like a mix between a walrus and a yeti.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the only thing. And then sometimes Krampus from the movie Krampus.
I was kind of picturing Krampus as well.
Yeah, because he's huge and lumbering, but also walks on 2 legs, and he has those long stick arms in the front, so it's technically 4 legs, but they're clearly part of his arms.
Yeah.
Guys, go watch Krampus.
Mm-hmm. Also, watch The Pact? Is that what it's called? Or no, The Ritual? The Ritual. It's a good one. On Netflix, because that also has a really good scary monster. That's a terrifying movie, but...
But yeah, like all of these monsters do kind of come into my head too as I'm like building up what she looks like, but I want to draw her so bad. I love her.
Do it. Do it.
I'm gonna have fun.
Draw her wearing a Nya-nya Bulembu cloak and sitting in the water with a Nya-nya Bulembu.
Yeah.
A
little friend. All right, that was fantastic.
I loved that story. I'm so excited that we have a princess who's a monster.
A little bog beast. That was also, again, from Monstrous Tales, an amazing book I hope you mention again and again, because every single story is a win, honestly. Every single story you tell from this book. Cool. Well, guys, that about wraps it up.
It certainly does.
It certainly does. Another week down. So, guys, we love you.
Yeah.
Reach out to us. TikTok, Instagram,
Twitter.
I almost said MySpace.
Oh, should we make a MySpace?
2005. In the year of our Lord 2005. Be sure to reach out and say hi.
Go back into the past. Send us a letter to be delivered tomorrow.
Hey, Tom, if you're listening, do you know Liam Hemsworth? We're looking to get in touch with him. Also, what's up? We used to be such good friends. Email us, sortofthestory@gmail.com. And honestly, just have a really great day, guys.
We love you.
We love you! Oh, bye!
Confirmed, every fig does have a wasp in it.
No, not the store-bought ones.
Yeah,
I just saw a video about this. About how not everyone
I just researched it over this weekend.
No! I need this to not be true!
It's not true.
Damn it! Okay, so they just have a dead wasp inside. I guess it's not technically
Any wild figs, I guess. I didn't look into, like,
the store-bought
artificially germinated ones, but...
I think those ones are the ones that don't have it, which I need that to be true so much, Max. This week has been horrible. I need there to not be wasps in store-bought figs.
Well, here's a fun fact for you.
Okay.
Computers are a scam and I hate them.
Anyway, check out Max's new campaign, Kill All Computers.
Honestly?
Done.
I'm having a bad time, guys.
Okay, well, I think we're tested.